Hello and welcome to coverage of custom standard casual matches. I'm Caillou, and today we're going to be watching a match between Soul and Lincoln. Uh, so we just watched a different match between Soul and Lincoln, in which I very confidently led off with Soul only has one deck that he's been running these days, which is Crest. Um, so and Soul proved me wrong by playing a different deck, MonoRed Aggro. So I'm not quite certain what Soul could be running here. Lincoln is evidently still on MonoRed Aggro, turn 1 playing out the Pouncing Caracal. Sprawling Coils, interesting. That doesn't reveal too much about what Soul could be on. It could be red-green midrange, or this could just be Crest, because Crest loves all of its multicolored lands. Meanwhile, turn 2, Lincoln is going to be tapping out for a Goblin Ragemonger, swinging for 3. On end, Soul cracks the Sprawling Coils. A Tropical Channel tells me that this is Crest. Rootband Crag Farseek? No, Humble Shepherd, one of the mana dorks. In this matchup is also good because it can profitably, or not profitably, but it and the sheep can double block Pouncing Caracal and kill it. I don't know if Soul will do that, but that is a good way to buy time if Soul doesn't have a threat in hand that can reasonably get him out of the situation. MonoRed Aggro is supposed to be one of Crest's worst matchups. So Lincoln tapping out for Rotting Hellhound and Blitzsuit. So Blitzsuit is really good. It basically acts as an anthem, has haste, and now Lincoln can crew it with probably Pouncing Caracal. Or no, probably Rotting Hellhound. Oh no. Huh, interesting. Is just going to swing out with everything, Despair the Rotting Hellhound, and then, yeah. Ouch. Soul takes 10 damage right there. So yeah, I'm not sure that Soul has something that's fast enough to save him from this. Especially on 8 life. Farseek into Hidden Harbor is okay. Like, next turn, Soul needs to have but next turn Soul will only have 5 mana. Like, Soul needs to have a Sahai Fire Beast, but won't have the mana for it next turn. And Lincoln plays Tempered Onclem is going to drain Soul for 3 here, and then swing out for can probably swing out for, if Lincoln decides to crew the Blitzsuit, can swing out for 4. But no, just swinging with the creatures. I have to ask Lincoln. Maybe Lincoln forgot that Blitzsuit is a vehicle, or maybe Lincoln's thought is that unlike Blitzsuit, but then even that doesn't even make sense because my thought was maybe, oh yeah, that doesn't work because Pouncing Caracal has Menace. But yeah, my thought was maybe Lincoln isn't attacking with Blitzsuit because it's more profitable on blocks somehow. But that isn't true at all because nothing Soul can do will end up killing the Blitzsuit, and it's just swings out for threat of 1 more damage than these 2 goons. And Soul just tapping out for another Farseek? Well, okay, if Soul can survive this turn, but no, doesn't. Okay, so Soul literally has nothing. Unless Soul can't even cast Wander the Unknown, because Soul only has 1 mana up. So deterministically, Soul loses next turn. Because Soul has no way to block profitably here. Oh yeah, and even if Soul made it to his next turn, he wouldn't have the ability to cast Sahai Fire Beast because Humble Shepherd's Sheep died. Anyways, Lincoln playing Pyromancer's Wisdom. I think Lincoln is going to finish this off with Squallwing Screecher. And there it is. There's the Squallwing Screecher. So Soul loses, and we're going to a game 2. And yeah, there's a reason. Crest is definitely like one of the strongest decks in the meta right now. But its Achilles heel is MonoRed Aggro, which is also another strong deck in the meta. In the most recent tournament that we've had, Soul was able to beat what was effectively MonoRed Aggro while playing Crest. So the matchup is not unwinnable. It's just very, very difficult for Crest. Crest needs to have like really good sequencing, like turn 2 ramp into play Titanic Crusher turn 4 to kill something, and then curve into Sahai Firebeast, Nito. It's like Soul but Crest by definition is a slow deck, and it's usually not so slow that it gets outsped by any other decks because this is a standard adjacent format, so none of the decks are reasonably going to be winning before Crest can drop a threat turn 5 or turn 4. But MonoRed Aggro is one of the few decks that can do that. Anyway, starting off game 2, Lincoln plays a Rotting Hellhound. Meanwhile, Soul is just going to fetch for a Hidden Harbor. Probably already has a green source in hand, just a forest. Yeah. If it was one of the typed duels, Soul would have searched for something with either mountain or an island subtype, because lots of the green X lands enter untapped if you control a specific duel. Anyways, Soul plays Farseek into Spindling Nimbus. Has all of his colors right now, which can become relevant if Soul untaps next turn, plays Crest, and then hopes to just be able to drop something. Because Crest is okay in this matchup. You can turn it on reasonably quickly, and it's not like MonoRed is going to have a way to kill enchantments. Okay, so Lincoln is playing Pyromancer's Wisdom. And grabbing another Pyromancer's Wisdom off of it. And with that mana, plays Minister of Zealots and Pouncing Caracal. So, Minister of Zealots creates a Cleric token. Of note, usually the Cleric token gets sacked on end step. However, this time Lincoln will get to keep it because he cast Pyromancer's Wisdom this turn. And also gets to swing out for 2 here, which, is pretty good. And then next turn has the potential to swing out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from another token, 6 from Caracal. And this is all assuming that Lincoln doesn't decide to either Despair Rotting Hellhound or activate the Assault on Pouncing Caracal, all of which are lines that would give Lincoln far more damage. All of this is on top of that, assuming that Lincoln doesn't have something else he can attack with next turn. So Soul tapping out for Jabaya, Devoted Farmer. So if Lincoln doesn't have a shock or a hired hit here, the Jabaya is a very difficult threat to deal with. It flips into an indestructible creature, which can profitably block most of what Lincoln has other than flying creatures. So I think Lincoln should probably swing out, or I guess could just kill Jabaya first, but I think you want to swing out, and then if Soul doesn't block with Jabaya, kill it. But I guess you don't want Soul to be able to chump any of your boards, so just kill Jabaya first. Hired hit. No, just assaulting the Pouncing Caracal. And then swinging out is Lincoln going to Despair the Rotting Hellhound? Yep. So swinging out for 1, 4, 6, 8, 11, not attacking with Minister of Zealots, so just 11 in total. This means that Sol can't block any of these without Jabaya dying. So I think Sol will probably just... oh no! Sol is blocking the Cleric token. Weird. I feel like if anything, Sol would want to block the Rotting Hellhound, because Rotting Hellhound is going to die anyways next turn. And Jabaya gives him an indestructible blocker. So the Cleric tokens die at end of turn because Lincoln didn't cast an instant or sorcery, which I feel like Lincoln should have just cast a Pyromancer's Wisdom to keep the tokens around. Now Sol drops a Titanic Crusher, kills Pouncing Caracal. And, oh yeah, Titanic Crusher is a 6/6. Yeah, Lincoln, like, lost most of his board there, and this is swinging the game hugely. And it's not like Lincoln doesn't have any way to kill Titanic Crusher, so kind of just has to attack with, like, go wide enough to go around it, or have like 3 pieces of face burn right now, which I don't even think Lincoln could do because hired hit requires you to upload a card from your hand. And yeah, Lincoln's just gonna pass. What Lincoln really needs right now is an Unproven Hatchling or a Squallwing Screecher. Oh yeah, and Ragemonger has to attack, so it'll get chumped by Titanic Crusher. So what Lincoln should do then is attack with the Cleric token, and that way get 1 damage in on Sol. Yeah, that's what Lincoln's gonna do. Sol is gonna kill the Goblin Ragemonger by blocking with Titanic Crusher, but will take 1 from the Cleric. The Minister creating a Cleric is important here because it means that if Lincoln top decks an Unproven Hatchling, Lincoln can immediately swing out to having both Minister Zealots and the Cleric here is important because it means that if Lincoln top decks an Unproven Hatchling, he can immediately attack immediately meaning like the turn right after Lincoln plays it. Lincoln can go Minister Zealots, attack with Cleric, attack with Unproven Hatchling, prestige the Unproven Hatchling, and swing out in the air for 4. Of course, assuming that Sol doesn't have another Titanic Crusher or Sahai Firebeast in the interim. So I think if Sol untaps, plays Sahai Firebeast here, this game is over. World Elemental works also. Yeah, World Elemental works as well. So with this, Sol can steal Minister of Zealots, can steal any creature Lincoln can play. Lincoln's only out is Squallwing Screecher into Squallwing Screecher, basically. And yeah, Lincoln isn't going to hold out for that out. And it looks like Lincoln doesn't have the time to play a full set, so that's all we're going to be seeing here today. So good games to Sol, winning, or not winning. I guess we saw 2 games there, so it ended off on a 1-1. Unfortunate that we don't get to see the third and final game to conclude the set, but sometimes people just don't have the time. Until next time, this is Caillou signing off.